Okay, we're about to go live on all the places. I'm just waiting for it to get picked up by Amazon. Let's see. It's not getting picked up yet, so we'll just shoot.
Okay, I'm just going to switch tabs to my Inspiration Place tab.
Okay, so I know we're live on YouTube, but I'm not getting the go live on my app for some reason. Let me preview and go live. There we go. 3, 2, 1, and we should be good to go. All right. So welcome everybody to the Inspiration Plays. I'm Miriam Schulman, and I'll be your curator of inspiration today. So I will also be having Addie help me in the chat below. Let me just make sure Addie is with us. Hey, Addie, say hello to our friends over on Amazon. So who's live with us today? Do you have any ideas? Do you see anybody comment in the stream? Oh, I do see the names. I see a lot of friends in there. So that Addie can see you too, just make sure you share in the chat who you are, where you live in the world. And hey, if you're an artist, tell us what kind of art you do and what you want to learn today about teaching online. And then Addie's going to give us some shout outs. So I see Marie's here. I see Sherry's here. Who else do you see, Addie, in the chat? There's a little delay between when I say something and when they might hear me and respond. So who else is here?
Let me just take a look at the chats right now.
Okay, so you know what? We'll give some shout outs a little bit later. I want to get started and I'm going to introduce myself to anybody here who may not know who I am really fast. Like I have literally 3 slides to introduce myself. So I am Miriam Schulman and I'm the author of the #1 business book for artists, Artpreneur. And I'm also host of the Inspiration Plays podcast. So I am so thrilled to welcome you here today. So who do we have here today, Addie?
Just one moment. Let me just take a look at it real quick.
Okay, and you're able to highlight things. Is that all working too? We just want to make sure that everything is working.
Yep, we have Paula here with us. We have Cynthia. Hello, Cynthia. We have Sherry. Hello from Sherry from AIC.
Beautiful.
And we have Alan. We have Wim. Welcome to Miriam's Amazon Live.
Okay. All right. So we're going to keep on going then because I just want to get right into the content. So when I first started creating art video tutorials, I really had, or let me just put it this way. When I knew I wanted to create art video tutorials, I literally had no idea what I needed. I didn't know what video equipment, I didn't know what software, I didn't know anything. So I started off maybe just the place that you might be right now. In fact, I want to hear from you in the chat before we continue going. Like, what is your experience with teaching art online? Is it something you're just thinking about? Is it something that maybe you started doing? Is it something maybe you've been at it for a while? And then when we get some feedback, Addie can let me know like where people are right now. So let's see like why you're here today and maybe what it is that is most exciting to you. And if you do want to teach online, what is it that you want to teach online? Share that in the chat as well. But I'm going to just go ahead and share with you where I was at when I first wanted to do it. I was completely overwhelmed by all the options. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like something that maybe you felt too? Because I didn't want to waste my time and I didn't want to waste my money on the wrong things. So I actually asked a tech-savvy teenager to teach me what to do. You may have heard me talk about this in the past. This is your business babysitter. And I wanted them to learn I wanted him to teach me what to do. This was actually a boy who helped me, but it could be a girl. It doesn't really matter. All right. So he found me affordable yet quality stuff that got me professional level results. I'm going to share with you today exactly what I use and still use. And I will also share with you today some alternatives because there may be some better things out there that people are using or that you might want to try. Okay. And I did not need to hire a film crew, and I did not need an editor, and I did not need to go to film school. All right. With the right camera, a few accessories, and simple software, I created videos my students love to watch and learn from because they are high quality and they are professional, but they're not boring. And you don't want to make people watch the paint dry. Okay, so I know that we have a little bit of feedback now. So Addie, who do we have in the chat, and what is their level of experience that you're seeing?
Paula from the incubator says, I'm already posting teaching videos on YouTube, but she needs help to make it better.
Oh, cool.
And Candy says she's thinking about starting. And KR, I wish we knew KR's name. She says, I've worked as art teacher in schools in UK, but she's leaving to try to set up art classes online.
Okay, perfect. So wherever level you're at, don't worry, you're in the right place. I'm here to help you. And we're going to just keep on going. So let me move on to some of the things that we have. So I've streamlined this process to make pro level videos in less time. And that's what you're going to learn today. Exactly what I do. Now I have thousands of students who have learned how to paint from my art classes. I mean, literally thousands. So some of my most popular ones were Watercolor Portrait Academy, Watercolor Secrets, Mixed Media Madness, and many more. And of course, many of you know that I now teach the business side online in the Artist Incubator program. Now, I want to show you how you can create your own beautiful videos to showcase your art and your technique. So let's get going. The 9 essential beautiful art videos. Okay, here is your list. And by the way, I know some of you are going to want to get this as a download. So we have made this super easy for you. I'm pretty sure we can't share links in the chat, Addie, because they will get deleted. But we have the QR code up here, and we also have our pretty link, schulmanart.com/tax. So you can either point your QR code to this, or you can write this link down and check this out later. Everything we're talking about today is in this guide. All right. So the first thing is a camcorder. Now, there are some fancier ones available. Addie, are you able to highlight that inside of our reel for people?
Yep.
Okay, in the carousel. Okay. So we have the exact one linked up, and I don't know if that's available anymore. So we linked a similar one up. The reason why I suggest you do this rather than your phone is because the lens on your phone is just not very good. And it's not going to give you the kind of quality videos, especially for art, that you're looking for. And it's also easier to see what you're doing because of the viewfinder. So I've linked up 2 camcorders. It's okay if they're used. That will work perfectly well. I've also linked up, Addie, and you can look for this in the carousel, some things that I know other influencers are now using. So I linked up the 2 Canon ones, but the other one that I linked up, it would be towards the end of the carousel. It's the DJI Pocket. Do you see that one linked up? Okay. So that one is also linked up. And I have two different versions of it because this is the one that a lot of influencers are now using. Again, it's something that has its own lens. That's what's important, that it has its own lens, because the lens in your camera really is not going to show off your artwork, especially if you're using these videos not just for teaching, but you're using these videos to really show off your art and you want all the colors to be beautiful or bright or really capture the nuances. You're going to want a quality camera lens. And that's why you should use either a camcorder or one of these other options. So what's cool about the ones I linked up that the influencers use is I think it even comes with its own stand up tripod. What I use is this cheaper camera that you can get used. And I've used also a tripod, which I think is what I've linked up next. Let me just see. Okay, so let me just finish sharing details about what I have. So my exact camera is this Canon one. Last time I checked, you can get this used on Amazon at $149. Is it available, Addie, now on Amazon?
I don't think it is, but the other two
Sold out?
cameras you've linked are both available.
Okay, and both of the Canons are not available. Is that right? On Amazon, they're both not available anymore.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it'll probably restock soon.
Yeah, this is something I see coming in and out. You might even be able to find it on eBay. So if you want to get the exact one I use, go with this. If you want to get something that's higher end because you don't want to take any chances, then I would use one of the other ones that I've linked. Now, you could use an iPhone, but like I said, the video quality is not that great and it's difficult to get a good view from it. It's not going to give you like a panoramic view that you want. You want to make sure you're able to see what you're filming. So you want to make sure that you aren't cutting out important details, which is why I like the viewfinder that you have either in any of those other options I've linked up for you. Okay. You know what, before I get to this, let me know, are there any questions on what we're seeing here
We don't have any
online?
questions yet, but we do have some people to welcome. So Joan Hodge, who's a mixed media artist, just joined us. And Chris Holt from the incubator as well is here.
Awesome. Okay, great. Okay, so let's keep on going. You'll just let me know if there's questions and you can just say hi to people in the chat. All right, so here's an important tip. Don't narrate your lessons while you're creating your art. And this is also true if you're filming art videos just for promoting your art and you're not teaching. Don't try to do it at the same time. When you're creating your art, just focus on creating your art and forget the cameras there. And you can always add the voice over later. So that's the way most people do it. That's easiest. Okay. Next thing is the tripod. Now, this is the one I use. I've gone through a few tripods over the years. This one is my favorite. And that is because the arm actually will lift up and it can lean over your table. And then I can turn the viewfinder so that I can actually see what it is I'm painting. So I love this one because most tripods, they only go up and down, where this one, the arm goes up and it can go over. So that is why I prefer that tripod. Now, you could use a regular tripod, but like I said, the swiveling arm really helps get difficult angles when you're teaching. Okay, so this I'm not going to be able, this is what I'm using right now to talk to you. So this is my webcam and I use this all the time. And it's perfect for Zoom calls. It's perfect when you want to do face to camera. If you're teaching an online class, a lot of it you think is going to be just showing what you're doing with your hands, but you really do need to have that face to camera. It's so important as an artist, as an art teacher, whether you're selling to collectors or students, for them to feel connected to you. And so you do need to show your face. Now, you don't have to show your face the whole time. If you're shy about that, you can just do a few minutes in the beginning. Hey, I'm Miriam. Welcome to my art studio. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do glazing or whatever it is that you are teaching. And then that's the last time you have to be in front of the camera. But if you're teaching on Zoom or something else, then you definitely need a webcam. So you do have that webcam is linked up, right? Are you able to, whenever I see Addie's scowl, I never know what that means. It's like, could you not find, you'll let me know if you can't find something, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we have the webcam here.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So I've had the same exact one for years and years. And I actually own two now because we have a farmhouse in the country when we get out of the city. And instead of bringing one back and forth, I just keep an extra one up there because, sometimes I work out there. So, okay. If you want this professional webcam, so you can do, You want this is what I meant to say. You want this if you're because you can do live videos and webinars. And what's really nice about it is that you can change it. You can go up and down. You can actually take it off of the camera. Like when I was doing the off of the top of your laptop. So when I was doing the planning tools, which was our live stream last week, what I did was I pulled it off of my computer and I was able to take it for a little ride. So you can do that, but I don't suggest that you use this for filming your classes. Okay, moving on. I also found I prefer filming my face to camera intros in front of my computer. So back in the day, I would put my camcorder on a tripod and I would talk to that and I would swivel the viewfinder so I could see that I was actually being shown. But I actually prefer doing it this way also because I can use a quality microphone, and the microphone on your video camera is not as good unless you get an attachment. I bought the attachment, which is linked up in the carousel, and I have to say I almost never use it, but I did link it up for you for people who are a little more tech savvy with camera equipment than I am. Okay, so this was the very first microphone that I bought. Now, this is the microphone I have up in the farmhouse. So I leave that one up there. I leave this one here. So let me talk to you first about this one. So this is the one you should be highlighting. You have that in the carousel. Yeah. So this is easy to set up. It has a USB plug. You just plug it in and you're ready to go. Super simple. The problem with this one, I'm not sure if this is on the next side. Okay. All right. So mostly right now I'm telling you this is like how you might do a voiceover after you're done filming. The webcam that I'm talking of that I showed you before, it does have a built-in microphone, but it sounds terrible. I want to see if I can switch to that audio just so you can hear the difference. So right now I am on this microphone, and if I switch to webcam microphone, can you hear the difference between the webcam microphone and the professional microphone? Addie, can you tell the difference? Actually, you're probably listening to, I don't know what you're listening to. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah, it kind of sounds, the webcam microphone kind of sounds muffled, whereas the microphone you're using is very clear.
Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to this microphone. It's so much clearer. All right, and I'm going to also talk about the difference between now the Yeti microphone and the one that I'm using here. So the Yeti microphone, it's easy to use because it's just a USB that you plug in, but it definitely has its drawbacks because it can pick up a mouse farting in the next room. I mean, it is very, very sensitive. No, I'm serious. Like you hear my cat, you hear everything. Whereas this microphone, it's only going to pick up the noise here. Let me just show you. I'm going to keep talking, and you see how you can't even really hear me anymore. You just see my mouth moving, right? You couldn't hear me talking anymore. You just saw my mouth moving. Is that right? Or if you could hear me, it was very, very faint. So the Yeti, it's good in the sense that you don't have to lean right in front of it, but it will pick up ambient noise. So if you live in a noisy place like New York City, you're going to want this kind of microphone. If you have noisy neighbors, you're going to want this kind of microphone. If you have a husband who also works from home, you want this kind of microphone. If you want something easy, you can do the other one. Addie, do we have any questions about anything I've talked about so far?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions about the tripod.
Okay.
Candy wants to know, what do you think about having a tripod and a Logitech Brio? And Paula wants to know, if the tripod shows two cameras attached, can they be on the tripod at the same time?
Okay, so I have only done the one camera solution. I am not that fancy. You can, in theory, take the Logitech webcam, if that's what she was referring to, and put it on the tripod. But then you'd have to be able to make sure you can see yourself on the screen, and you're going to be filming to the screen. So that's going to add a little bit of complication to it. When I first got started, I thought that I had to see everything on my computer. And so the type of camcorder I got, it actually has an HDMI cable that you can do that. But then later, that turned out to be more trouble than it was worth. And it was just easier for me to turn the viewfinder so that I could see it. So it swivels so that I can see the viewfinder, even though the lens might be pointed at, it might be this way too, might be pointed at the art that I'm creating. Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay,
She
awesome.
said that makes sense.
Beautiful. All right. Any other questions, Addie?
And Paula said that her laptop doesn't have a USB port. I think she's using a MacBook Air. So if we have a recommended USB port hub from your list, or do you want me to add one?
Yeah, I don't think that we have it in the carousel, but what Addie can do is put it into our Amazon storefront, which is, if you're watching this on Amazon and you see my picture, you can click on my picture to get to it. But the URL is Schulman Art. Let me see if I can just put it into the live stream, schulmanart.com/store. Actually, I don't know if that's the way it works. I'm not sure if I did that right. Okay. schulmanart.com/store. There we go. Now everybody can see it, right? Okay. So if you go there later, we're going to make sure that we put those USB ports and those types of things in there, so it's all in one place for you. And just so you know, just for full transparency, they do pay me it's like a 2% commission or 3%. It's less than 3% on anything you buy there, but it doesn't cost you anything extra to order things from my storefront. You always will get the best deal. Okay, let me just hide this comment again, and we're going to go back here. All right. Oh, you know what? We're still talking about microphones. Okay, so let me go back to this. All right. So I do think I linked up this puppy inside the carousel as well. This is a much more complicated solution. So there's a cable that attaches to this. You also need the arm. I did not link up the cable, by the way. So I think maybe all the cables and all that extra stuff added, we may link up, we may put in the storefront after. But this is linked up. This is the Rode. So this screws on to your desk and it holds the microphone. You can get a different kind of microphone that plugs into a USB that is not a Yeti. That is a thing. My setup is really complicated because I did this for podcasting. I have this whole thing. However, I have to tell you the truth. I only use that setup when I'm doing solo episodes. When I'm doing an interview, I'm doing everything through Zoom and recording it through Zoom. When I do solo episodes, I record it there. I used to do my interviews through that whole setup, and it just got too overwhelming for me. Something got changed in my setup, and then after that, I was like, oh, screw it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll just do it on Zoom. All right. Now we're going to talk about lighting. Are we ready to move on? Okay. Let's do it. Okay, lighting. All right, so this is a studio ring light. This is really great. It is a nice flattering light for any face-to-camera filming. It makes you look amazing. What you do is you put the camera in the middle of the light. I do have one, and I did bring it with me to the city. However, I don't use it anymore. I stopped using this light because it casts a weird circle in my glasses. Like you'll see like the circles here and here. So I stopped using that. And also, this is a little secret. This is why I prefer doing my face to camera on my webcam, because on Zoom, I use the Zoom filters. and I look better with the zoom filters than I do without a zoom filter. So I've kind of done away with all that fancy lighting. It's hot. It casts a thing in my shadow. But if you guys have contact lenses and you want that and you want to get that, go for it. I also film in front of a window. If you do, you got to be careful that there's no shadows. Now, the window light in my suburbs looked way better than the light in my city apartment. So in the suburbs, what we had done is we bought a 3-bedroom house and we added a 4th bedroom. And the 4th bedroom, I was so lucky. This is the one thing I do miss about the house. It had a whole wall of windows that faced the north, and the window light was amazing. It was just gorgeous window light. Right now, I face an alley, and the window, it's really very little light at all. So that's the story. Now, there's something else that we did link up in the carousel that I do have and I do use that is less expensive and less complicated than that huge Diva ring. I only use this light when I don't have my glasses on. Do you see that one? And
Yeah.
I don't think I have it. Actually, I meant to like get it ready ahead of time. Where is it? Oh no, wait. Where is it? Okay. I don't think I have it, but there's a lot of things like this that you can use that like, oh, this one's out of battery. It's like this and it's a little light, but it's the same problem that I have that if you're wearing glasses, you're going to have those circles. But things like this, that's what that other one is for. So it casts like a flattering light on your face and you can set it up by attaching it to clipping it to your computer. Okay. So let me move on to this. All right. Next, we're going to talk about, this is just something you need to have if you are using any of those cameras that we mentioned, the Canon or those newer, fancier ones. You are going to need storage. So this is not expensive. It's just a storage card. They're really great, and you plug it into the camera, you pull it out and you stick it in your computer. And this, you want a really good one. You don't want it to run out of storage in the middle of filming, so make sure you get one that has like 32 gigabytes or something like that, so you don't have to stop what you're doing and switch cards or move things onto your computer. Do you have any other questions, Addie?
We don't have new ones yet, so I think everything is clear for them.
Okay, great. All right. Moving on to more things that you need. All right. So the video editing software that I use is linked up in the carousel. So Addie, if you can find that CyberLink Power Director, I've been using this since 2012. So 12 years of using this. Now, I also have a video editor that helps me. I don't know what she's using, but sometimes Anna and I will still use this. So Anna has a copy of this software on our computer, as do I, and we still use this from time to time when we're editing our own videos. It's amazing. And I actually do have a course that teaches you how to use this and how to create online classes. It's schulmanart.com/teach. So Add, if you can add that into the chat, and I will share that later for anybody who wants that. For people inside the Artist Incubator, you do get that as a pay in full bonus. It's Art Video Academy. All right, I'm going to move ahead. All right. Oops, I meant to hide that slide. Okay. All right. So for organizing your videos, we do recommend Kajabi. So this is, again, what I've been using since 2012. And I don't know that we have like a discount code, but if there is a discount code, that would be schulmanart.com/Kajabi. So Addie, if you can put that in as a comment, then I can share that online. I can't share any of the Amazon comments. Actually, I'll type it in. Kajabi. Okay, it's this. Okay, so there may be a discount if you use that for you going forward. Like if you use that link, you may get a discount by joining through that link. Okay, I'll have to double check that. Okay, we hide that and move forward. And that is just the gold standard. Now, there are other solutions for hosting videos. There's Teachable, there's other things. When I first started teaching, I used something called, what was that called? Ning. And then what happened is they got sold and the features weren't so good. And we had to switch. And it was very painful to make the switch. So then when I decided I needed to upgrade to something else, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going for gold standard, nothing in between. And I knew people who had tried Teachable and things like that. And I said, no, Kajabi is better. So I said, okay, fine, Kajabi. And that's what I've been using now. I don't know when I made the switch. I want to say it was 2014 or 2015, but I've been using it probably 9 years and I'm very happy with it. And Addie, you actually use Kajabi because you are the one who helps me behind the scenes. Do you have anything to say about using it as somebody who has to put things in place?
Yeah, when I started working with you, I had no idea how to use Kajabi, but since it's very user-friendly, it was easy for me to adapt and learn how to move things inside the classroom. And if there are issues logging in, it's also easy for us to fix the back end team. Yeah, so it's a great tool.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Okay, and we're still all of a sudden, like I realized I closed my app. I was like, did that close the Amazon thing? We're still live, right? We still have comments in the chat. People are still with us.
We are, and we've got a few questions already.
Beautiful. Okay.
Um, Candy wants to know your thoughts on OBS or Camtasia.
Okay, great question. So what is it? What kind of things are you trying to teach, Candy? Let us know in the chat. OBS is a live streaming platform. That would be similar to what I'm using here. So I'm using StreamYard. This is how I'm going live to go live. And right now we are cross streaming this, not just on Amazon, but also on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to do a Facebook Live on your page, you can use StreamYard. I believe they cut off the ability to do this in the group though. And that is not an OBS thing or StreamYard thing. That is actually a Facebook thing that they're not letting use third-party apps to go into groups. So you can't do that anymore. But StreamYard, I love it. It's easy. I used to do all my Facebook Lives on StreamYard. Then when I stopped doing Facebook Lives, I stopped paying for this account. And then when I decided I was going to be doing Amazon Lives, StreamYard was the first one that I decided to go with. So I hope that answered her question. Did she respond about what she's trying to teach?
We don't have her response yet, but let
Okay.
me go to Paula's question. She
Okay.
wants to know what exactly Kajabi does and what do you think of private videos on YouTube?
Okay, that is a great question. So Kajabi is really great for the users as well as for us, because for the users, they have a lot of features where they can keep track of what they've already seen, what they've already done. You can put notes underneath. You can attach PDFs. It's a password protected place, which people always feel better about. So they can leave comments if they have a question about anything. They can leave a comment underneath. Like Paula, she's an AIC member, right? This is the same Paula.
Yeah.
Okay, so AIC stands for Artist Incubator. So Paula's in the Artist Incubator. So you see how that interface works where you can ask a question and I can respond to it. That's what Kajabi really helps you do. And it's from a person who's creating it. It really is much better. Now, in the beginning, when I had that Ning platform, I think we did host our videos on YouTube as unlisted videos. That's going to be hard for you if suddenly something happens and your YouTube gets shut down, which is easier to do than you might think. We actually had our Facebook live stream. The first time we went live here, it got shut down. The live stream got shut down because my guest dropped the F-bomb during the live stream because I didn't warn her ahead of time and the whole thing just crashed. We had our Amazon account got shut down, and obviously it's back again. And that wasn't because of anything we did. That was just because of some sort of glitch in the system. And we know these things happen all the time. Like Instagram gets shut down, your Instagram gets taken away, or your Facebook gets taken away because you break the rule either by accident or on purpose, or there's a glitch or something just happens. So that's why it's better not to do it. However, I think I do have that on maybe one of the slides. If you're not ready to invest in a solution, you can do a Facebook group with units. It's okay, but a lot of people don't like it in terms of, like, I once joined a program and I didn't know that she was hosting all the videos on Facebook. I really do not like going onto Facebook. You can see my shoulders are even going up as we're talking about it. Like, I'm just not big on going onto Facebook, and I did not like that because I found it distracting. So from an end user point of view, it's not always the best experience. So I know, as somebody who's delivering a class, I want to give the best experience to my students. And that's why I went with Kajabi. And I knew that I wanted this to be a multiple six-figure business. So it wasn't a hardship to consider investing. I forget what I pay a year, a couple $100 a year, whatever it is, maybe it's $1,000, in order to have a multiple six-figure business. I was investing in my students because I know that you're worth it, that my students are worth it. Addie, do we have any other questions before we move on?
That's it. Paula agrees um, with your reason why you don't recommend YouTube.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's move ahead. All right, I have a free gift for everybody. Okay, so if you are thinking about teaching your art online, you want to build and sell your first online art class like a pro in 30 days or less, we have schulmanart.com/guide. This is an app. This is absolutely free. So nothing for sale. Just buy it. Just all I'm asking is for email address. And here's what you would use it for. Why there's never been a better time for online art classes. The 5 shortcuts that you can use to narrow down your topic. This is perfect if you have too many ideas and you can't decide. You'll discover the 3 ways to easily produce your course in a short amount of time. And you'll get a 7-point checklist for choosing a killer title for your online art class that resonates with your students. And it includes also the tools that we talked about today. So to get your hands on that, let me just back up a bit. It's schulmanart.com/guide or the QR code. Do we have any more questions?
Nothing new so far.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Moving ahead. So there's a couple more things I linked up that you may want. So first of all, are these headphones, which I do have, and of course it's underneath the table. So you're gonna look at these headphones while I talk, okay? So I do have these, and I do use them all the time. All right, let me go back to this view. All right. So here they are, and these are noise canceling headphones, and they're the audio, whatever. They're not very pretty though, but my son thought they were so cool. And during the early years of the pandemic, when he was live streaming for his college classes, he kept borrowing it from me because he wanted to look like Joe Rogan. Okay, so that's what my 20-year-old, now he's 24. But when he was 20, he thought this was the coolest thing ever. Now, I do use this when I'm podcasting, just so you know. When I go live, though, I like to look a little prettier, which is why I have these white ones with the rose gold covers. Now, these are not available on Amazon. These are from the Netherlands, from a company called Friends, but I did find something very similar. So Addie, if you want to pull that up in the in the carousel. Do you see them? They're white. Okay. So that one is very similar. And it's actually cheaper than these. These are not as cheap. I think it's cheaper if you get the wired kind. If you get the kind that are wireless and you get these exact kind, they're going to be more expensive. But the ones we linked up for you are much better. Okay. Now for something else I have is this chair. So the chair is linked up for you too. Why is this important? It isn't. But I feel cool when I'm live streaming and I have a white chair and I have my white headphones on. So if you want my exact chair, I don't think it's expensive. How much is it linked up there? Oh, it's okay. It's not, when I got it, I think it was on sale for $100. This one looks like it's $169. Is that right? Yeah, I can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, you maybe you muted on purpose. It's just people in your room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Don't
Can you
worry.
hear me now? Sorry
I
about that.
can. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was the headphone and the chair. So the chair is comfortable. It is definitely more comfortable than the one that I was using before that I got at Staples. Okay, so we talked about this light that I linked up. It can clip to the side of your laptop or the top of your screen. And as long as you don't have glasses on, this will also give you a flattering light. It's a lot cheaper and it's a lot easier to use than the other one. Okay, so I guess that is it. Oh, we have a couple more things I think in the carousel that I didn't talk about because last time people were asking me about my shirt. So I linked that up too. I linked up my book. Do we have any other questions, Addie?
We don't have new ones, but I don't think you talked about one of the products in your carousel. We have the Shure microphone.
Oh yeah, that's this.
Mm.
This is a Shure. So when I first started learning how to podcast, I was learning from the dudes, from the bro marketers. So my business coach at the time was Jason Van Orden, and he had one of the first internet marketing podcasts. He's no longer, I don't think he no longer has a podcast, or he has one, he's not adding to it. And he told me women's voices sound the best on a Shure. So this was the microphone he recommended to me. It is important that you get this. So this is linked up for you too. This is this guy, because if I'm exaggerating, because if you don't, you're going to have all your breath. You can hear all the breath, which can be really annoying. So this makes it a little less breathy. Could you guys hear the difference on that? So that's what this is for. And you'll notice, like in the Yeti that I linked up for you, I believe that comes with the foam wind. It's called a windscreen. So that's why you have this thing on the edge of microphones, in case you didn't know that before. I certainly didn't know that before. What else did we miss in the carousel?
We have one. It's a Boya microphone for smartphones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is something that you can use either for your smartphone, or you can use that for the webcam to have an external microphone rather than using the built-in microphone that is part, not the webcam, but the Canon. So when you purchase the other video cameras that I have in the carousel, not the whether you get the Canon used or one of those, or you get one of those other ones, you are going to need an external microphone, and that's what that's for. And if you go to what's currently available, like if you click on either of those cameras, so if you do that, Addie, if you go to the listing, you'll see people who bought this also bought, or it comes in a kit. Usually there's a kit that includes the microphone that you should get that goes along with the one. So you are going to need an external microphone if you get that. But I say to do the voiceover after. Like, don't worry about doing a voiceover as you're creating your art. That is very difficult to do. It's like you have to like multitask to do that. And that's what I always found the most stressful about teaching, whether it was in person or when I first started teaching online. I thought I had to narrate as I was doing it. And then later I learned, no, I don't have to do that. I can just film myself and then afterwards do the voiceover. Okay. Any other questions?
We don't have any new questions, but we are getting some Luna love. And Anthony said Luna looked like his cat tuxedo.
Oh yeah, let's do some Luna. So my cat likes to be in this very uncomfortable box, but she loves it. I don't understand at all. So my kitten is about a year old. I mean, I guess she's technically a fully grown cat, but I call her a kitten. One other thing that I would love to hear from you, what would you guys like to learn during these live streams? Do you have ideas for future live streams? And I would also like to hear from you. Did this inspire you to teach online? Did this intimidate you to teach online? Share with me in the chat, or share with us in the chat, like what you're thinking. Is there something you want to try now? Is there something you want to learn in a future live stream? So let us know, and we're going to give a moment to gather up those questions.
Let's see. We don't have any new questions yet, but I really like your shirt. Does it come in sizes and other colors?
I don't know if you, let me just see. I can click on the shirt. So just highlight the shirt in the carousel. We actually don't make the shirt. So my daughter bought it for me as a gift when my book was coming out, and she surprised me with it. I think it only comes in black, but I'm going to just click on it. It's a 20. Oh, it does come in other colors. Oh my gosh, I'm totally getting this in pink. So it comes in men's and it comes in women, and the sizes, it does have plus sizes. It goes all the way up to 3X large. And it comes in green, it comes in gray, it comes in pink, and it comes in royal blue. So very cool. Yeah.
Okay. Paula says this information has been very helpful, and before this Amazon Live, she had no idea where to start with all of this equipment.
Okay, beautiful. And then I do see something on Facebook. Pamela says, can you tell me the steps to selling the art from a website platform? Oh, that would make a great future live stream. Okay, so today we're talking about teaching your art online, but we will definitely keep that in mind for, so Pamela, if you could just share on wherever you are. I know you're on Facebook right now. Like, are you an absolute beginner? Because we do have steps inside the book Artpreneur, which is available on Amazon or in your indie bookstore. And if you do get that book, we do have bonuses for you. So that is artpreneurbook.com. You can email us a receipt of your book and you get a bunch of bonuses. And that's good. That's true of anybody who's here live. If you already bought the book and you didn't know that, you can send us your receipt. If you lost the receipt, just snap a picture of yourself with the book. That counts. If you get it from the library, that counts. We don't penalize anybody because you got it from the library. As long as you didn't steal it from the library. You gave it back to the library. You just have to check it out again. All right. Do we have any last questions coming in, Addie? Do we have to say before we say goodbye?
Yes, we have a good question from KR. He says, can Kajabi host membership as well as just courses and do a live stream, or do we use other platforms? And he also wanted to know, what is the best for membership with course content?
Okay, great question. So yes, I use Kajabi for membership. For several years, I had an art class membership I called it the Inspired Insiders Club. And just so you know, that was actually generating $40,000 a year. But I did close that one. And I was having new content every single month. Kajabi was wonderful for doing that. I loved it. I know James Wedmore also uses Kajabi. So I don't know if you know who he is, but he's somebody who also teaches online. And basically, the Artist Incubator is a membership site. It's just like a year membership that they have. So we do use it for that. I am not using Kajabi's live streaming features. So I do use Zoom for that. It's interesting though. Maybe I'll check it out, but I just use Zoom for that. That's what I feel comfortable using. Great questions. All right. So I also want you to share, what was your greatest takeaway here today before we say goodbye, before we wrap up? And either we'll give some shout outs about that while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, and then we're going to wrap up. And by the way, if you want to follow, oh, sorry, go ahead, Addie.
Sorry. Pamela says, I'm new at selling a visual product. My art is an Oracle deck. Wow.
Ooh, we love Oracle decks. I collect Oracle decks. So that is great. Okay, wonderful. Okay. And do we have any takeaways now we want to give shout outs about?
We have somebody said clarity about the ring lights. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. It was so much fun hanging out with you. I will be here next week, same exact time, same exact place. If you saw me on YouTube or on Facebook, you'll get the best experience if you join me live on Amazon. My storefront is schulmanart.com/store. And make sure you hit the follow button so you can get notifications next time I'm live, and you can view all our past live streams. All right, my friend, until next time, stay inspired. Bye for now.